motherfuckers and you be on a level. Listen, I'm never giving up. Stand your ground, don't be too comfortable or too settled. Listen, I'm never giving up. When you hit rock bottom, it's only one way to go. Listen, I'm never giving up. Everybody got problems, how you handle them, no. Yeah, listen.
Hey, I'm John.
And Jonathan. And
welcome to the Formula.
Hey guys, we have two special guests in the building today. Man, I can't be more happy to have these guys with us today to talk about some officiating. I got my buddy that all you guys know that I officiate as well, but I have my buddy Ken Hall in the building, and I also have Tim Hedgepeth in the building. Say hey, fellas.
What's going on, man?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good, man. Good. So, just want to start with Tim. Can you just tell me a little bit about yourself and what you officiate, things like that?
Yeah, my name's Tim Hedgepeth. I currently work in the MEAC as a field judge and the CIAA as a referee.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, guys, everybody, it's Ken Hall. I'm actually in the CIAA as a side judge.
Cool. And both of you guys officiate high school ball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, high school as well.
Good deal. And you both referees in high school as well? Referees. And do you guys, I know, Tim, you do some back judge sometime.
So I do
high school?
Back judge and referee, high school.
And Tim, do you do any back judge anymore?
It's hard because of being with my college schedule. It's really hard to do high school sports. So I think I had one game this year in high school. So
and that was at
back judge.
Back judge. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. And today, man, we just want to give you guys a perspective about officiating because everybody watched the game, be it football, basketball, and there are some questionable calls that you see in your mind. But sometimes what you have to see is there's rules for a reason, and we're just not out playing backyard football where there's no structure. And that's where the officials come into play, and that's where they run the game. You know, they control the flow of the game, and those are things that as a fan, when we're looking at the game, we're not seeing that. Mm-hmm. So definitely like to jump into that. And how long you been officiating, Tim?
I started in 2009. Didn't really have a mentor or someone to kind of give me a heads up on the officiating business, so I showed up looking kind of crazy, earrings in my ears. I had long braids down my back, and I made a terrible first impression with the supervisor. So he didn't give me any games that year. So I felt.
So wait, you have to have buzz cut.
Well, you
no
don't.
jewelry.
It's kind of like it's kind of like an unspoken rule. Like now they're saying you can have like a shadow beard, and you can have. I've seen some guys have long hair, but depending on how far you want to go, like you'll never see someone in college with a beard or someone in college with long hair,
right.
Mm-hmm. Unless they're a female. That's acceptable. But
I don't know about a beard or female, but
right. Hey. So yeah, 2009 I started, didn't get any games. I skipped 2010 because I was just defeated. I wanted to be the best ref, but I didn't even get one game. So I was like, man, I'm not doing this anymore. And then in 2011 I started back when Rodney came in, took over in Charlotte.
All right, cool. And Rodney is the supervisor here in Charlotte.
Yes, right? For high school, and I got into college in 2015. So
okay, cool.
Been doing that ever since.
All right. And what year did you start? So 2015, you started in college.
Mm-hmm.
And what conference did you go into at that time?
I went into a Division III conference, non-scholarship conference called the ODAC, okay. USA South, and they have a lot of schools in Virginia. They have some in North Carolina, and then as far south as Alabama in Huntington. So that was interesting, doing Friday night games, getting out 10, 11 p.m., and then driving all the way to Alabama to be there at 8 in the morning, working that game, and then driving all the way back to Charlotte because you don't get paid much at the D3 level.
Right.
So you can't really afford hotels and all that. So it's a grind to it when you first start off in college.
Yeah. And Ken, can you tell a little bit about your background, how you started?
Right. So I started in 2006. And actually, I started in Illinois. At the time, my job had transferred me. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. My job transferred to Illinois. I was in the process of getting started in Michigan, and then when my job transferred me, I just kind of finished the process there in Illinois. So I worked 2 years in Illinois, then I transferred to Charlotte in 2008. Yeah, was it 2000? No, 2009. 2009 is when I came to Charlotte. So actually I did 3 years in Illinois, and then I came to Charlotte in '09, and then I started with the CIAA in 2016. Yeah, 2016.
Okay.
So you guys been doing it for a minute, for a hot minute.
Yeah, what, 13, 14 years?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are like the requirements? Like, let's say someone wanted to be a ref. Is there any like process, any requirements that you guys have to go through?
Yeah, so you have to sign up. There's a website out there if you're, I think it's highschoolofficials.com. So no matter where you are, you go on that website, you put in your information, they'll link you to your local assigners. So anyways, you get in touch with them, and typically you do a couple of sessions, some clinics we call them, where you'll meet with the whole group, go over some rules, go over some philosophies of the game, what we're calling, what we're not calling. And you do that. You have to buy your uniform. That's always an investment up front, a couple $100. We're independent contractors, so that's our equipment that we have to pay for. And I guess the unsaid part about it is when you get into it, as far as being successful as with it, like anything, it's like networking with people. Because on the field, guys want to work with guys they can trust. They don't want to work with the guy who's just out there to get a check. So so of course that part of it is important as well. Networking with the people, getting to know them.
But it's not like you guys are making a crazy amount of money though. So most guys who do it, they're probably not doing it for the money. They're probably not doing it for the check.
That's true.
That's true.
I'm just assuming. I don't know.
I mean, it's like with anything. You have your bad apples in a bunch.
Right.
So you have guys out there, because I mean, realistically speaking, no, you're not gonna get rich. You're not gonna make a ton of money.
Because these are not full-time jobs for you guys. Like,
not really, but it is full time. It's
time-
full time, but it's not.
full-time, but it's
Full-time
not.
time.
Time is
But-
not full-time money.
the higher you get in
Right,
college
right.
Yeah,
now,
it's
it
more.
gets into big money. You get
Yeah.
in NFL, then you're in big money.
It's more,
Right,
yeah.
but even NFL reps aren't technically full-time.
They are now. I think they
employees,
consider
or-
them
Well,
now.
they took it away.
Yeah, they took it away.
They took it
yeah,
away.
so
Yeah.
but
They
yeah,
took it
I mean, they say no, but the amount of time you spend in it, yeah, you're full time reps.
The
man.
whole season, man. The whole
Yeah,
year.
You don't
the whole
stop.
year.
I may get like I think I usually take January off. Take time spend with the family.
And that's about it. though.
Take
That's
mama
like
out
the
on a
only time
trip, you know.
have.
February, you start up with
February, we back at it.
clinics,
Yeah.
Rule sessions.
Like my family already knows, don't die, don't get married, don't have a baby from February to December.
Only January. If you want me to be there.
Right.
But what made you guys get into it? Like, what my story is, I played college football, so I wanted to get back into the game. At the same time, make a little change as well. So officiating was kind of my avenue of getting back into the game, touching the game again, and not going to the coaching route. So what made you guys get into it?
Me, it was pretty much the same. I played football all the way through high school. I didn't pursue it in college, but I wanted to get back to the game, and I actually wanted to coach, but my schedule never really allowed it. So I actually was in Detroit. I think it was a cousin of mine. His son was playing some youth football. He made it to the playoffs. He's like, hey, man, come check him out. Went to the playoff game. I was like, man, I missed this. See, one of the officials, he was kind of getting out of his car, getting ready. And I just approached him. Was like, man, how do I get into it? So he told me, man, just go on the, Michigan High School Athletic Association website. Go ahead and sign up. Get in touch with a booking agent, things like that. So that was kind of like how I didn't even know about the money part of it. I was just like, man, I just want to be part of the game.
All right.
Yeah, so for me, I wish I could say it was about me playing football on the field, but it was from playing football on the TV with Madden. So
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I went through high school all about music and church. That's what my household was about, music and church. So I'm the first one to go to college. And so when I went to college, the guys will always be on the TV playing Madden. I'm like, man, I'm a competitive guy. So I eventually over time got competitive with it and started loving the game of Madden. And so a buddy of mine, he did some rec football league, and I went to support him. And, 'cause I was thinking, oh, it's too late for me to get involved in it, man. I'm in my 20s now. And so I saw him out there. He was doing a good job, and I saw this big guy with his shirt hanging out. So I saw this big guy with his shirt hanging out, flag halfway out of his pocket. I'm like, what's that dude? So then I realized it's the referee. I was like, man, well, I could do that.
Right.
So he was, half, doing his job out there. So I talked to my buddy, and he hooked me up with a guy who got me into that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Good deal.
As far as like training, like, do you guys have to like stay in shape, keep your body in a good place to be able to do this, or can just any Joe Schmo just go out there on the
If
field?
you want to succeed and be successful, yes,
you got to keep up with these athletes.
Keep your mind in shape, keep your body in shape. You have to be very disciplined in all phases of life. That's one thing I do like about it, because my dad was a Army guy, so he put that discipline in us as a kid, and I strive in structure. So football helps me stay disciplined, because you definitely got to stay in shape, because you're on that field, especially on a college Saturday, 1:00. You're somewhere in Fayetteville or somewhere like that, man. Temperature's like maybe 90 degrees, and you're on turf, so it's probably about 110 degrees.
Yep.
You're out there for like 3 hours, man, in the heat. So yeah, you definitely got to be in shape.
I was clocked at a game. One of the games I did this past season in Florida was at 127 on the field.
Wow.
127.
Yeah, it felt like 127 on the field.
Oof.
Yeah.
So yeah, physical fitness is hugely important from the standpoint of health. I do know a guy, a buddy of mine. He does replay now, which is a new position in college, where when a play goes to review, somebody in the booth is reviewing an official. So he had to go to the booth. He's actually a pretty young guy, because he had a heart attack on the field at Syracuse. So you have to be physically in shape, because you're out there with these young kids. They're not getting any slower. You're getting older, but they're getting faster. And so you got to be in shape for that reason. But two, when I talked about earlier, that first impression, when you have these coordinators who want, you want, as officials, you want to have the big game. You want to have the best game you can get, right? You want to work at the highest level you can work. Well, the first thing they notice is physical fitness. I mean, it's literally, they will look you up and down before they really talk to you. Yeah, so
are they timing you in the 40 or anything like that?
It's all about the eye test.
About the eye test.
Okay.
You gotta look at, because it's all about perception. So, you have fans, and everyone's looking at that TV, and if you're having that big game, that TV's gonna add 10 to 15 pounds on you. And the first thing people will say is, look at this guy, he's all out of shape. How can he make that call?
Right.
So it's all about perception. If we stay on that field, we look physical fit. I mean, even the coaches, they'll respect you, and they're going to treat you differently. If they feel they're going to know if you're lazy out there and you half doing it and you're moving slow, they're like, come on, man, there's no way you can see that. You're not even moving out there.
Right. So, yeah, it's hugely important. To me, it's the number one thing, really.
So what do you guys do to stay fit for the season?
So for me, my biggest with my body type is eating healthy. That's the most important thing. So right now, I'm doing a pretty good job eating healthy. And my routine right now is doing 45 minutes on the elliptical every day. And so I've been doing that. I've been dropping some weight, because it is hard during the season, especially as you get higher into college. Like, we have to fly out. I don't have any games in Charlotte. I mean, we have some schools in North Carolina, but I did 8 or 9 games in the MEAC last year, and I had to fly to 7 of them. So with all that travel, you can't get back to Sunday. Sunday's normally my meal prep day. Then on Friday night we do a crew dinner, and it's like guys are ordering everything because we split the bill, and so it's just like really tough to maintain your weight during the season.
Right.
Because you also have to come to your regular job, and then you have your family. I have 2 little kids, and so it's really hard to put the time in. So me personally, I spend January, February like really hitting it hard, and then I'll do like some exercising leading up to the season. So
Yeah, me it's pretty much the same. I usually do. Depends on off season now, so I do. I probably work out like 3 to 4 times a week. Start off with cardio, maybe about an hour cardio. Then I do a little bit of weights. But during the season, it's just kind of all cardio. I probably hit the treadmill for probably about. I used to do maybe about 2.5 miles on treadmill. Drinking a ton of water every day, staying hydrated, making sure you're eating the right foods, a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, keep your body hydrated. But like Tim was saying, on that road, sometimes it's hard because, you might not get in. A couple games I had to fly and missed a flight or something happened. You get in like 11 at night, so you're trying to figure out something to eat.
yes,
Try to grab some fruits and water.
it's hard.
It's hard, so trying to eat the right, trying to keep the right foods in you. But that's the main thing is just knowing your body and knowing how it's gonna react. Try to keep that nutrition and that cardio up.
And especially after a game, like I've clocked myself doing 8 to 10 miles in a game on a Saturday when it's really hot. So you like burning a bunch of calories, and after the game, by the time you're able to get something to eat, the only thing that's open is like fast food or the gas station. So you're getting like just junk.
Right.
So yeah, that's really difficult actually.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
As far as on the field, like what are some of the challenges, the biggest challenges as far as doing your actual job on the field?
I think the biggest challenge that I had this year was probably I was on a crew, but we had an incident that happened in our conference, so I wasn't really able to work with my whole crew the entire year. So working with a different group of individuals every week, sometimes you don't really get that bond that you usually would get if you have a crew that you work with every single week, and so that tends to be a little challenging. But for the most part, man, it's just I've been doing it so long. It's not really a big challenge, man, because you prepare yourself all week long, the whole season, and it's. I look at the term as muscle memory. I try to prepare myself for every situation that it just becomes muscle memory.
Yeah, I think I agree with Ken. The actually working the game is the easier part.
Right.
It's the preparation that goes into it prior to the game. Like we said, we start in February. I start a little earlier than February. But the game, my first game won't probably be till like mid to late August, and then it'll end in November. But we're going hard, like hours and hours the whole week. So the easiest part is actually working the game. I don't know. I don't think there's anything that I would say is like challenging. Obviously, the calls are, hard. Sometimes you got to make a judgment call, and sometimes you're like, as officials, like, man, I don't know, and you have to sell it. So there's those tough calls. You get a split second, and you have to make a ruling. Everybody's looking at you like, was it pass interference? Was it not? Was it holding? Was it not? And you have to make a ruling. So, I mean, you have those judgment calls, but I don't think it's necessarily like challenging. I wouldn't categorize it as that.
I was gonna ask, are there calls that you guys make that you're like, ooh, I don't know, I might have messed that one up.
Oh yeah,
Like, I might
all
have
the
missed
time.
that.
Every time.
All
After
the
every
time,
game.
man.
There's
All the
3
time.
or 4 plays after every
Yeah.
game. I'm like, where's the film? Let me go
Yeah.
on ESPN right now and see
Right.
what's
And the
Right.
thing is, when you're on the field, you're like, oh man, it can kind of throw you off the rhythm because, I mean, most officials that I know in my circle, we're all perfectionists, and we want to go out there and be perfect. But we all know it can't happen because we're human. But it's times we think we made a mistake or we didn't. It was like, man, did I catch that? Did this really happen? It's wrangling your mind. It's like, oh. Then we go back to what we call like a pre-snap routine, which is we got to just say, all right, I got to go back to my pre-snap routine and get my head back into the game. But definitely, man, as soon as that game over, You look at that film, you like, 2 minutes of third quarter, I need to look at that.
Yeah.
Do those moments like stay with you?
Oh, yeah.
Forever?
Oh, yeah.
Like, all the
Gosh, you have to
time?
All the
train
time,
yourself.
man.
Like you just can't get it out of your head.
You gotta
Like,
train yourself to kind
Yeah.
of block it out during the
Yeah.
game. But definitely, man. I mean, I can have an incident that happen. It can be the first play of the game, and I'll just say, all right, I gotta wipe that off. But as soon as that game is over, it's still in the back of my mind.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to the film to say, all right, let me make sure I got this right.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that 100%. You know, earlier on in my career, I would literally tank. And we'll be in like the third quarter, second quarter. There's a whole nother quarter or two to go in the game, so there's a bunch of plays to go. But I would literally be thinking about a play that happened, you know, 10, 15 minutes ago. So, so yeah, I had to literally get out of that. And I remember in college a couple of years ago, I don't know if you was there, but I know
was
you
there.
were there.
I was there.
I was proud of myself because I had the worst mistake of my career at Johnson C. Smith University. The very worst mistake of my career, but I was proud of myself because I was able to shake it off during the game. I didn't let it bother me for the rest. We had 5 minutes left to go in the game, and I was able to finish. It wasn't even a thing. But now after the game, I turned my phone off because I kept getting a bunch of texts like, "Tim, are you okay? I heard this." So I turned my phone off, and I grabbed my wife and kids and went to the beach, man. It was like, we're getting away.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. So, you have to train yourself.
So how do you guys handle like the coaches? Like sometimes you see Nick Saban in a referee's face, you know, in the ear, in the short wing's ear. How do you guys handle that? I know you guys are not on the you on the side.
Yeah, I'm on the side.
You know, so how do you guys handle that?
Communication, man. You know, try to talk to the coaches early. You know, pregame, we walk on the field. Try to just build that rapport, that relationship with them. Oftentimes, you know, by us working the conference, you may have a coach more than one time within the season, whether it's at home or away. And they know you, you know, because they see you a lot. They may see you year after year. So they'll know kind of your tendencies and things. But I think the biggest thing is communication. A lot of guys try to officiate and be like, oh, man, I'm not talking to that coach or anything like that. But it's like with anything, man. It's like if your wife was nagging you, you know, you still got to talk to her.
Right.
You know, if you ignore her, you're just going to make the situation worse. So the biggest thing is just communicating with that coach. And guess what? If I make a mistake, I'll be man enough to tell him, hey, coach, you know what? I think I blew that one. And the only thing they can do, they yell at you, but they'll respect you for it. And then when you try to make up lies or try to throw your other official on the bus, then that coach he loses respect for you, and he's gonna try and work you. So the big thing, man, I just talk to him. I just communicate with him.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Being honest with him, don't BS him. Talk to him when he has questions, and I just have gotten to the point where I realize that, you know, this is their career. You know, even in high school, like this is their career, and so the game gets emotional. They can't control officials. Like I said, we have judgment calls out there that we miss all the time. Sometimes we throw it, and it's not the right call. Most times it is the right call. So I get it. So I don't meet his emotion. You know, I keep an even keel with him, and I make sure, you know.
See, y'all better men than me, cause so when they cuss at you, you don't cuss back.
I have not cussed back at
'Cause
him.
No,
I'm
actually-
the type I cuss
Actually,
back.
you know what? I have never cursed at an official. I mean, at a coach.
But
no,
they
I
have
haven't.
cussed at you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I had a
Okay.
coach call me every name in the book, man.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, the thing is, I understand the game, and I understand, you know, the nature of the game, and I understand it's an emotional game. And I mean, coach is getting his butt kicked up and down the field. His team didn't come prepared. He has to put it on somebody, you know. So he comes to me. As long as he's not disrespectful in my face, you know, put his hands on me, he can talk all he want, you know.
All right.
And the coaches know I can turn around and give him a certain look, and he'll keep talking, but he might go to the 30-yard line. But he'll keep talking, you know. But it's the thing is he'll know, and I can just tell him like, Coach, you know what? That's enough. And he'll know like, all right, I'm gonna chill out. But it's been times, you know, I might have to use a little yellow to shut him up, you know,
Right.
push him back a little bit. But I, you know, just main thing, you know, like I say, man, it's just trying to get it out, and He's gonna talk. So.
What about parents? Have parents ever came at you sideways?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's why I
man,
don't
that's
do
kinda why I don't
Before
do-
the game,
I don't
after
do those
the game,
games anymore,
during the
man.
game? Like, when did they approach you?
I've had it all. I've had it during the
Yeah.
game, after the
Yeah.
game. I've had it all. Not
Yeah,
prior to
yeah.
the game. They're usually really nice to you.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
What-
Prior to the game, man, it's like, oh, hey, bro.
Yeah.
But then after the
Coach is
game,
nice.
Sweetest
Everybody-
people you ever meet.
Yeah, it's your fault we
That's a
lost.
nice guy.
Yeah.
That's a stand-up guy right there.
Yeah, I had a couple parents, approach me to my car. It's like, look, you might want to step back,
Wow.
think about this, because I'm taking this shirt off.
Right.
I'm about to go in my car, so
Once the shirt
I'm
come
no longer
off,
an official.
Once the shirt come off, you're not on the clock no more. So
Yeah. But man, I never really had like a a very confrontational. But some parents they can be over the top.
Was there a parent that ever like did anything nice, like brought you cupcakes or something like that? Like,
No, I mean,
what's the nicest thing?
I would say
anyone's
probably
ever
the
done?
nicest was a couple of youth games I used to do. You had like the moms, they'll bring like fruit and snacks for the kids.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of times where they'll come say, hey, I got a bag of oranges. Here's a Gatorade. Here's some water.
Yeah.
We know you guys been out here all day. And, sometimes they'll take care of you. But then sometimes parents, they look at you like, hey, I don't care if you pass out.
I think that's what's really driving the national shortage of officials right now is the abuse that a lot of
Yeah.
the parents primarily and a lot of the coaches too. So that's one thing too. At the lowest levels, like Pop Warner, they're the worst. And
Yeah.
then as you get into college, you mentioned Nick Saban, but really, and there's a few that's kind of crazy out there. But for the vast majority of them are not. They're not crazy. They're actually
Right.
the higher you go, the coaches are way more
Yeah.
easy to deal with, easier to deal with. So
And also, too, about 99.9% of the time, when you get to that higher level, when the coach is chewing out, you did it to get chewed out.
yeah, I mean they
Yeah.
know their stuff, they know
Yeah,
the
they know it,
rules.
yeah.
I mean, like I'm literally listening, like, yo,
Yeah,
he
they'll-
might be. Now there's sometimes they
Yeah.
might try to work you. I've been
Yeah,
worked
they'll
through
do
them
it.
before, but vast majority of the time they come with a legit concern,
Oh, yeah.
and I think that's always my thing. Like, coach, if you have questions or problems, let me know, and I try to establish like now if he's coming with stuff every play, he knows I'm gonna start tuning him out, and so when it really counts. I'm gonna be tuning them out, so they're pretty good. But at the lowest level, like I've had Pop Warner coaches when it's time for us to go to kickoff. I've had coaches who are parent volunteers roll the ball to me and tell me fetch.
I was at that game. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had that.
We actually had to put them out, man.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Oh.
I had them
yeah.
spit at my feet.
Yeah.
At that point, I was a younger official, so I didn't want any confrontation. But yeah. So I mean, you deal with some crazy stuff at
Wow.
the lower levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Higher it goes, it's not as bad.
Because I'll see like videos online where parents are fighting other parents and
Oh, yeah.
people are getting at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
referees
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it starts a whole brawl breaks
Parents are
out
out
and
of
it's
control.
like you
Yeah.
guys ever
Yeah.
experienced that? Any kind of physical altercations or witnessed any physical altercations?
Yeah, I have. I just kind of, just backed away and said the
You let
game
them
was
handle-
over.
You let them
Yeah, let them handle. Usually they'll try to have some security or something on site, and
Right.
you
But
know,
you're not.
but yeah.
You're not trying to like break
Nah,
up
that's
any
not
fights,
that's not what I was called to do. My thing was to come out and uphold the integrity of the football game, and if anything else happens after that, that's not up to me.
Right.
You know.
I had an arena football game one time where a player was so mad. I mean, they clearly was losing this game. It was the championship game, actually. And the game was already decided. So on the last play of the game, I awarded an interception instead of giving a touchdown. It was, one of those plays. Was it a touchdown? Was it an interception? So, and he got so heated. He as I'm going to the locker room, he ran up on me and got up in my face. And so then the police had to grab him. So that was the only really someone really touching me physically that I ever been involved with. So I've had chicken wings thrown at me, quarters.
Wow.
So, yep.
Yeah.
That's
Quarters? They couldn't throw $100 bills.
Student section.
Yeah, student section. They hit you with them
Student
quarters,
section,
man. They
well,
try to hit you in the back of the head with the quarters. You in that end zone.
So how do y'all feel about the? Pretty sure you've seen the story about is a wrestling wrestling match here in North
I
Carolina.
saw that.
You know, the kid was wrestling. I didn't see the whole video, so kid was wrestling, and a dad, came onto the mat and tackled the opponent.
Yeah.
Which the son, I guess his son was wrestling this guy, and his dad came and tackled the opponent. I mean, what do you guys feel about like the parents that do that? And there's nothing that the official could do to.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know, man. I just feel like I don't know if it's a society thing, but I just feel like the respect level is just decreasing. Like, I mean, this is a grown man blowing up this kid.
right?
I mean, what is wrong with him? I wish I could answer what the problem is, man. But I mean, people literally, they see you with the stripes on, they just like you're not even a person anymore. It's
Right.
like you're the enemy, So I don't know.
So
I wish I could
didn't
answer
see it.
that.
So was the kid an official, or was just another kid that
Well,
was
it's two kids wrestling.
just wrestling? He
Yeah,
just
two
came
high
and
school-
tackled
yeah.
the other.
And one of the
Yeah.
fathers came.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see
Yeah.
the video neither, but I heard about it.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think it's a lot different from when I played. When I played, everybody didn't get a trophy.
Right.
Everybody didn't play.
Right.
If you was good enough, you played. If not, guess what? You worked hard to earn that spot. So, I really don't agree with the whole thing of everybody got to play a quarter and everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah.
Because I think we kind of setting our kids up for failure. And I think that's kind of one of those situations where if you know your kid's not that good, hey, work with him, get him some training, to get him better. And if he's not successful, maybe put him into another sport where he is successful and not try to maybe live out your own dream as a parent. And I think that's where a lot of times like that goes wrong. So if his son's losing, be a man about it, let him lose. But,
Yeah.
Right.
we all got to lose sometimes because that's only going to help us out.
Part of life.
Yeah, so, I don't know, that's crazy right there.
Yeah.
There was a story where an athlete, they made the athlete cut their hair, like in the middle of the event.
It was a wrestling
The
match.
referee,
Yeah,
right?
Was
referee
it?
made the wrestler.
And they were
Yeah,
like,
that was
"Oh,
crazy.
you can't continue unless you cut your locks or
Yeah.
your braids or whatever it was." And
That's
they were gonna get ready to, forfeit the game,
Yeah, that's crazy right
Yeah.
there.
but
Yeah.
or forfeit the match.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys ever had that kind of experience where you had to like kick an athlete out of the game or something to that effect.
Yeah, we've kicked athletes out the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
but
I
I
say they kicked themselves out. Yeah,
Yep.
for
Good
their
point.
actions, So
well, it's true. Like you're talking about, this whole time we've been talking about people doing things to us, but there are some referees that are just unreasonable. We call them too technical. They just read the rule book and see black and white. But the game is just gray. At the end of the day, we do not want one team to get an advantage over the other one. So we try to officiate the game that it's a fair game both ways. And so some officials like that guy, you don't when you do stuff like that, you put yourself out there as a person nobody wants to be around. And look, it makes national news. If he just lets that person go ahead on and wrestle, nobody even knows who this guy is.
Right.
But because he's so technical and he's such a jerk, which we have a lot of those guys, now everybody knows this guy. And I'm telling you, I bet his career is, if he ever had any aspirations of moving up, I bet even like within, whatever level he was at, he would probably never work the better games in that league because of that reason alone. And supervisors hate that because now they have to answer questions from the media, all eyes are on them. So it's just, unfortunately, we have those two technical guys. They don't know how to officiate what we call the spirit of the rule. Why was this rule there? So,
All right. And what's some things that you guys like in the organization? Just say MFOA. What's some things that you guys would tweak for when you getting into the game? So you starting officiating. What's some things that can be better? That's been done really well in other organizations as well, even going into the college ranks. What's some things that you guys would like to see as a new official to happen in those cases when you come into the game?
are you talking about like officiating the game or
Yes.
like just
Like
coming
just
into the
if I want to, when I started, so when you started, you came in and we did the classes. Sometimes
yeah.
like for me, like what I do is I get a little extra work in, right? Because when we first started, we didn't get a lot of work in on the field before our scrimmages, right? Mm-hmm. So what's something that you would think that would help a new official once they start officiating?
Here's something we did when I first started in Illinois that we probably could try to adopt here is where we kind of had, I know we do it on like the college level where you have like a liaison for different schools. That maybe we can do that as far as with our veteran officials, maybe have liaisons with some of the high schools and maybe just attend their practices and bring some newer guys there where they can kind of train them and help them out with mechanics and rules and things like that. But that actually will build a rapport with the schools and with the coaches as well.
That's good.
And let them see that, hey, we're trying to get ourselves better and train ourselves too. So we're just not going out there, just going through the motions. I think that's something we probably can help out because oftentimes, we look for what we call have somebody come out to a game. They got to drive, go to the game, and then they're working that game, and they're not getting paid for it, but they're also not really getting the training because you're just kind of throwing them in just to get extra snaps, but nobody's back there actually really like helping them and training them. So if you go to a practice where they might find a high school that's maybe 2 miles away or 3 miles away, so they don't have to spend a whole lot of money on gas, but also has somebody can kind of train them along and kind of, talk to them in the ear like, hey, line up here, that's what you're looking for, or some of that, and I think we can probably try to incorporate that.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we do a good job in Charlotte with MFOA, which is our local association here in Charlotte for high school and middle school. I think they actually do a good job, man. One of the things I think I would like to see maybe a little bit better is where it's more about the guys mentoring the other guys and mentor them from a standpoint of, not throw everything on them because it's a lot when you're getting started. I mean, you open the rule, you think you know football until you pick up the rule book. You're like, what is this?
Yeah, you see stuff you ain't never even seen before and never even heard.
Man, and so I think if we could just really mentor guys and really be there for guys, I think that's the best way because retention right now is not good, man. We'll have 50, 40 guys join. Then the next year, only 20 come back. In 3 years, only 10 of those are back. And it's just like we can't retain them.
So the turnover is...
I think when a lot of guys get into it, they don't understand the work and the responsibility that comes along with it. They just think like, hey, I just put on a striped shirt, go out, blow my whistle, throw a flag, and that's it.
Right.
But they don't know everything else that goes into it, especially the preparation that goes into it. And you're like,
and it
can be overwhelming.
It sounds like you travel a lot. So they probably don't anticipate that neither.
Yeah, it can get real busy. I think the flip side of that, though, Ken, is like we have officials who are like unfairly hard on these guys. And it's just a different generation. Like, it's not the generation where you have this hard male tell you, screaming at you and all this kind of stuff. This generation is, you got to be more tactful with these guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just, you don't have to be overbearing. And then we have some guys who like, run here, run there, stop. Wait, why you do this? Like, and it just keep, and I think that guys are like, for $90, I don't want to deal with that, know? And so, I think some of the guys need to chill out. Probably would be my advice.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's some common knowledge things that that the general public, the fans, don't know about officiating that you would like for them to know about officiating? Like, hey man, when you're watching us on the TV, this is what you should be thinking about when you're watching us do our work.
Well, one thing that just came to mind, that's a hard question. But there's grabbing on every play. Like, you always hear fans holding, he's holding them. But we have philosophies that goes with the rule. So you can't, just because he's grabbing, that doesn't mean it's a hold, because a hold in football is a foul. So to become a foul, you have to have a material effect on the play. It has to be at the point of attack. It has to be in the area unless it's a takedown. So there's all these different philosophies, that goes with it. So just because you see someone grabbing doesn't mean it's a hold. Actually, I would love for the coaches to know that because they always. I mean, if we called that every time, we would literally be flagging every play of the game, and nobody wants
and
that.
And the game would be 6 hours, 7 hours long.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
So
I think the only thing I come up with is I hear this a lot. Man, that flag was late.
oh my gosh.
So what people don't understand is that we're processing the play, and we're going through our steps in our head, processing it, and we may be talking to ourselves like, okay, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, hold. So the play may be almost over, and you see our flag come in, and it's like, man, that's too late. You cheating. That flag's late. It's like, no, I was processing the play, making sure I saw exactly what I saw, and then when it became a foul, then I threw my flag. So
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another good one for fans to know is that we do not care about the teams.
Sure don't.
We
Don't care who
have
wins,
no
don't care who loses.
interest in the teams. Like I can't even express this. When people come up to me, and I get it frequently. Oh, y'all just don't like us. I'm like, man, I do not even know you. I have no idea who you are. So we compete against ourselves. On every game, we are graded. And every flag we throw, we're either going to get an incorrect call, a correct call, and we're going to get graded. And I just talked to one of my supervisors. I finished second in my position based on the grades. And so they, the supervisors take that into consideration with state championships and playoff assignments. We are competing with ourselves to get the play, right. And we don't always get it right, but we do not have an interest in either team.
Right.
And any team where we could have a potential conflict of interest, we mark those teams off.
Yeah.
Like I used to work at North Meck High School. So I don't do North Meck High School games, So
So you get a lot of people accusing you of playing favoritism.
Yeah.
For one school, one team over another.
I mean, I had a coach on me. He's like, I think it was Shaw. I think it was Edward Ward or something. He was like, man, you must have graduated from Shaw. It's like, man, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, man. I don't know nothing, man.
That's how I tell them.
I could care less, man.
I'm from Eastern North Carolina, man.
Yeah,
I don't know
like,
any of
man,
these Western North
I
Carolina
don't know
teams.
about this, man.
Care about that, man. We just try to do the best job we can do for ourselves out there. So
Right, because it doesn't benefit you making the wrong call or making a bad decision.
No, we get in
Like,
trouble for
Nah,
something.
man.
We
You
get
got,
suspensions.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, like
get
you say,
fired.
man.
Yeah,
Like we were saying before, we're perfectionists. We're trying to get it right. And the thing is, we always have in the back of our mind, we all set goals, beginning of the year. And when I was only doing high school, my goal was every year was to do a state championship game. So I would always prepare myself, during the off season and during the season. And I mean, think of that. Me and Tim started, years ago. We used to go up on Mondays at Panera Bread and just go through rules, watch film, kind of do everything. So we were, preparing ourselves, to try to work that big game and to move up into college. And, we still do the preparation today. So, our goal is to make ourselves better and to get out on the field. So, a lot of that stuff, man, we just trying to do what we can do.
And on that note, another good thing for fans to know is that we just don't show up to the game. Like we talked about, we didn't go into detail about the off-season work, but during the week, we have quizzes that we have to do and submit. We have
Training tapes.
reports we have to do after games. We have training tapes we have to write. We have to scout the teams that we're about to do. That takes a lot of time. You look at their tendencies, with some plays of interest. Oh, they run this formation. This is their number one wide receiver. You go through the stats and you see like, okay, if there's going to be a play, if I'm working deep, if this is a last second play, I want to know who the number one wide receiver is, because that might give us a heads up where the ball is going. So like we do a lot of work throughout the week, and then we have a pregame, where we go through talking about a lot. So we don't just show up to the game. Some people might, but the vast majority of guys do not just show up.
About 90% of the guys, they're
That I didn't know. I didn't know you guys watch film. You watch, watch tape. You do homework. You do research. You do all that.
Yeah,
all that stuff outside of actually calling the game.
Yeah, so if you think about a game that starts at 1 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday, we start preparing for that game on Monday. Now,
So you're really working all week.
correct. And
Yeah,
and
it
we got
definitely is.
jobs. I got a 9 to 5.
Right.
Got a family.
Right.
Got kids.
But then you got
taking
gotta
care
do
of
all this
that,
other
and
stuff
then
too.
do all
and the other
that.
stuff, man. I'm doing that in between. So, I mean, I'm on my lunch break at work. I'm watching film. Other people are going out. I'm watching film. I'm doing a test, or I'm doing a quiz, or I have my iPad, and the weekly training tape comes out. National training tape. So I'm going in there. I'm watching that, and then you may have a conference call with your crew. Maybe
Yeah.
on a Wednesday night. So you have your conference call with your crew. Then you got a quiz that's due. You got to turn that in. And then you're scouting. Then you're getting ready for your pregame. And our pregame lasts, usually like 2 hours? Yeah, 2.5 hours. So we're going through scenarios. So, I mean, we're preparing ourselves that whole week. And like we talked earlier, I'm in the gym doing my cardio, I'm eating right, making sure I'm hydrated. So we're doing a whole lot of things that go into that game on a Saturday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, same thing with high school too.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
when you think about it, you have a 7:30 kick. We're at the school at 5:00, 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Some.
Leaving work early,
Yeah.
taking vacation days.
So that's why a lot of people
Yeah.
it's tough for some people to stay into officiating because
Yeah.
they don't understand how much time is actually needed to officiate, especially high school ball. Because like I said, we get there at 5:00.
Right.
So yeah.
Then you got Wednesday night middle school,
Yep.
Thursday
Yeah.
JV. Rodney
Friday.
will put out a video on Wednesday or
Yep.
Thursday. You got to watch the video.
Yeah.
If you don't watch the video, he knows.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to do
Yep.
evaluations on your. There's a lot of
Got
stuff.
quizzes that
So
come
there's-
out.
there's
you know,
really a
well,
lot to it.
stay
And
in
when the
your
game
room,
ends,
but-
we don't just
Yeah.
finish the game. We got stuff
Yeah.
to do
Stuff to
post
do
game.
afterward, yeah.
So
College level, I think. But I think Sunday by noon, we got to have our penalty report in with all our detail in. Yeah. So
What would be like the most satisfying or gratifying thing about being a referee?
I think for me is to see the response from the kids. I've been doing it for a long time, so I really got a kick out of it doing on the lower level like the Pop Warner, and I'll see the kids that really enjoy themselves, and they'll come up. I mean, I had kids come and hug me, man, like, thanks, ref, appreciate it. That's kind of rewarding. Then when you get to more to high school, I think I had one game, I can't remember what school it was, but I was working back judge at the time, and it was a guy, I think he was like a safety or something like on the defense. And, I just kind of, when I'm out there, I kind of talk to the kids. I try to help them out, coach them up. And I was kind of talking to this guy. He's like, man, you're probably the best ref I ever had. You just talking to me the whole game. He's like, man, can I get your autograph afterwards? I was like, what? So, that makes it kind of rewarding, man. And then having coaches that really appreciate what you do and the time you put in, and they really express it. And if they're genuine when they say, man, you know what, I really appreciate you, being on my sidelines. You helped me out, today. So that's kind of the most rewarding thing for me.
yeah, for me, the first thing that came to my mind is just the friends you make in officiating. Like, I just, been doing it for a lot of years now, and I can't remember most of the game situations. Like, someone would have to like, you remember this? And I'm like, I don't remember that. But I've made lifelong friends. Like, I've told my wife, it's funny that you asked that question. I think it was last week. I was like, I don't know if I would have any friends if I wasn't doing football. Like, I talk to nobody else besides football people mainly.
That's
That's
true.
not what work. And even
Yeah.
Ken, like Ken is my brother. And it all came through officiating
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
And I got several guys like that. That's the most rewarding things. Those relationships that I've built through working with these guys on the field. So
Nice.
yeah.
Jonathan, how about you?
Shit, I can echo whatever everybody said here, man. Is because, like, I like being back there. Like, I'm a student. I'm a football player first. I always tell the coaches and officials, look, I'm a football player first, then I'm an official. 'Cause that's how I officiate the game. You know what I mean? So no, I don't want a play to go this way or the other. I want it fair because when I played, I wanted it fair. I don't care if it's against me, as long as it's fair. You know. So it's cool that, like, being back there, I'm a back judge as well, and just being back there and the just joking with the kids, you know what I mean? Like, there's high school kids that they talking about, hey man, you been working out. You work out, don't you, Mr. Fish?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I get joy out of that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Mr. Fish, you look like you still can play, man. I'm gonna beat you that goal line. I bet you that. You know what I mean? So, it's just and it's cool because the kids aren't out there. All the players don't hate officials.
Yeah.
They,
most of them don't.
Most of them love us, man. They love that you're people.
Yeah.
That you're not one of the guys that's stale.
Right.
Don't talk to them. Don't do this, don't do that. Do this, do that. No, you guys play the game, man. When I see them fussing and stuff. Hey, man, play the game. Don't fuss at each other.
When I played, and I'm from New York, but when I played, I never had that experience. I never had referees like you guys talking to me or joking with me or giving me advice or pointers. So I think
that's because they don't know how to officiate.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's
seriously, it's a difference.
but it's not your job to do that. Technically, what I mean. Like, you don't have to do it. You know what I mean?
I don't have to do it, but
you do, and I
Yeah.
think, like you said, most athletes would appreciate that.
Oh, yeah,
if
they do.
referees were to approach their job
Man,
in that way.
when we talked about earlier, we have philosophies. We go to
Yeah.
these camps and clinics, and we talk about this stuff now. I don't know if the officials in New York is different. It's up
New
north.
York is
It's a
different,
different
yeah.
breed of guys just in general. But we always talk about, that's one of our philosophies. When a player does something good, make sure you tell them. You don't want really the first thing you tell the player is something bad. When they need to improve on something, you gotta tell them that too, man. But then joke with them, let them know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the things.
Or just explain to me, hey, this is why I call it this way.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
usually I do that.
So,
I do that
so
as
I
well.
know,
Yeah.
okay, I know how you're calling the game.
Right.
I know how to move forward.
Yeah.
as a
And
game.
even if I don't call it, I'll come and I'll say, hey,
Tell 'em.
35, hey man, you do that again, man. I'm probably get you for DPI. I'm gonna tell you
Right.
why I did it.
Right.
And then they'll say, all right, Clay, thanks.
They
We
appreciate
call
it.
that
appreciate it,
preventative
too. Yeah.
officiating. Preventative officiating.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for joining us today. Really appreciate
Thanks for
it.
the invite.
Um,
Appreciate it.
I think we had a good conversation today, and I think I hope people get a better understanding of what you guys do and what you guys go through, and I hope more parents bring you cupcakes and stuff like that. So
Sugar free, man. Sugar
any,
free.
so for any listeners out there, just try your best to understand their job as a referee, and just keep that in mind. Try to play nice. You don't have to follow them to the car. It's not necessary. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
For some, I understand it's their career. I understand they're trying to get a scholarship. I understand they're trying to get D1 or get into the school, or but we're all human, and you guys aren't robots. You guys, you're gonna make mistakes.
Everybody does on the field.
Everybody does. So just try to keep that in mind, and try to have a better understanding of what it means to be a referee. So, Jonathan, sign out here.
Well, make sure you guys hit the button to subscribe. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, on Instagram at the Formula Productions.
YouTube,
Yeah, hit us up on
Check us
YouTube,
out.
man.
like the video, all that jazz.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys' time. Appreciate you guys for coming, man.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
the
thanks a
formula.
lot.
The pain herself, switch knees and switch speeds, plus a cane, what else? Broke her back to get it done, with no one's help. Matter of fact, that's the pun, when no one helps. Gotta find a way to get it done with no one else. When no one helps, gotta find a way to get it done. Yeah. Never let her bring you down, cause it can be on it. Down, cause it can be on it. Down, cause it can be on it.